These are the 5 honest, harsh truths about change that nobody talks about. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Now, of course, disclaimer, there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, so always take what resonates and leave the rest, as well as getting your pen and your paper and be prepared to take notes. The 5 harshest, honest truths when it comes to your healing journey, when it comes to elevation, when it comes to isolation, when it comes to success, when it comes to you letting go of who you used to be, is that number one, it is no longer an option. You taking care of yourself is mandatory. It is no longer a choice. It is not an option. It is no longer a choice. It is no longer an option. You have to show up every single day. Now, of course, in order for you to get to this point of success, to see your breakthrough and to see the results and actually become who you want to be, it does start with a decision. But once you decide to make this decision, you can't go back. And the reason why I feel like a lot of people quit is because they don't realize that there's a beginning, a middle, and the end. Just like a book, just like a movie, just like a story. You have to realize that in order for you to cross your finish line, you have to start. And a lot of times it's not the end goal. It's not the end result. It's not actually having 1 million followers or having $1 million or having clear skin or losing the weight, gaining the weight, getting the job, getting the degrees. It's not the actual outcome that we struggle with or are avoiding and don't want to take the time to accomplish and resonate with. It's the fact that you have to unlearn and let go of who you used to be. So if your outcome goal is to get a degree, you have to go to the 4 years of school. You may have to go to school for 5 years, 10 years, however long it takes for you to complete your course, to complete your program. That you now have to go to classes Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 2 to 10 or 7 to 6, whatever your schedule is. You now have to take exams. You now have to study. You now have to make sure that you have assignments that are due. You now have to read. Now you have to study. Now you have to write essays. Like, it's the actual middle part that a lot of people struggle with. And because when you are doing something that's unfamiliar in the beginning, if you're not confident in your decision, a lot of times you go back and forth because you're complacent with how you used to be. You're complacent of what you used to do. You're complacent with the people and the places and the environments. And that is when it starts to become difficult. That's when it starts to become challenging. And that's when you experience the most turmoil. Hopefully I'm saying that word correctly. So it's just like you have to learn how to weather the storm. And speaking from experience, because everybody's life is different, you don't know how long it's going to take for you. Yes, it's possible to get degrees and doctorates and bachelors. Yes, it's possible to have 1 million followers. Yes, it's possible to make $1 million, because we've seen it, we've witnessed it in everyday life, on social media, on YouTube, and just in general. But you won't know until you do it. So you could see people, you could be admired, you can be inspired, but at the end of the day, until you put the time, energy, and effort, you don't know. So it's like, when you decide that you want to commit, you have to really think about what is going to happen. It's really important, if you're new here, to check out the 30-day consistency challenge. I'm going to plug that in. It will be somewhere here on the screen or somewhere here in the description. In each video, we broke down the importance of goals and the responsibilities, because a lot of times, a lot of us want to heal mentally. A lot of times, a lot of us want to become better emotionally. A lot of times, a lot of us psychologically, consciously, subconsciously want to feel light, want to be open to receive, want to financially become better, but don't realize that if we grew up in poverty, we can no longer have the scarcity mindset when it comes to money. We cannot think that everybody who uses money is demonic, or money is evil, or that only rich people could have money, or a certain kind of person can have money. Like, the limitations have to be removed. When it comes to you losing weight or gaining weight, you have to realize all the foods that you were used to implementing, the foods that you were eating, you have to now become educated. You may have to learn how to substitute certain foods. You may now have to cut off certain foods, or you may have to start eating certain foods that you didn't. Like, if you're somebody who doesn't like drinking water, the benefits that comes with it. It's a lot that comes with it. So it's just like, number one, the hardest thing when you decide that you want to elevate and heal yourself, like from trauma and trials and tribulations, is that you need to be sure. You need to be certain. And if you're not certain, check out that playlist. And what I'm going to recommend for you to do when watching this video is, before you decide that you want something, I need you to take a couple of days, a couple of months, no longer than 4 weeks, or maybe 1 month to 6 months, realistically, depending on how efficient and effective and how much time you have. This is going to look different for everybody, but then 1 month to 6 months, I need you to really sit with yourself and understand, if you decide to have a goal, if you decide to do something, are you willing to start within the 6 months? 6 months. Give yourself 6 months to commit to something. Like I said, you could do it in 1 month. You could take 1 day. You know your situation, but I just need you to take time. And I do this with myself, you guys. I had to take time and realize, okay, if I want this, I want that. Am I willing to take the time? Do I realize that it may take me 4 months, 6 months, 4 years, 40 years? If the answer is no, you don't need to make a decision. The second harsh truth, because it's no longer an option and it's mandatory when it comes to you healing and your experiences changed, is that once you start, you can't go back. So you're gonna have days in the beginning, in the middle, and even towards when you get the things that you want, where you may be tired. You may not have the energy. You may not have all the tools and the resources when you start. You are going to lose people, places, things, family members, friends, mindsets, and beliefs. You have to be okay with that. During that time of you being uncomfortable, you have to be practical. A lot of people love to tell people to just be delusional. As your favorite mental health specialist who's a naturopathic physician, all tea, all shade, if people knew what delusional was, you wouldn't want to be delusional. We don't need to be delusional. We need to be practical. And the reason why I'm telling you to be practical is because there's nothing delusional about being successful. There's nothing delusional about having an imagination. And for those of you who love to use that word, let's just go ahead and look it up with the definition. And then I'm going to explain to you why, like I said, you don't need to be delusional. When somebody is delusional, you're holding on and characterizing false beliefs or judgments about an external reality. When you are being delusional, you are holding on and believing false beliefs and judgments about an external reality, despite evidence to contrary belief. So why would you want to be delusional? Why would you not want to believe in you becoming successful? Why would you not want to believe in you having 1 million followers, $1 million, losing weight? Why would you not? Okay, I understand people my age, millennials, Gen Zers, are just like, just be delusional. No, we don't need to be delusional. Because it's nothing impossible about reaching 1 million followers. It's nothing impossible about becoming successful. Because when you think it's so impossible, you then now think that your dreams and your goals are out of reach. We need them to be our reality. This needs to be our lifestyle. This needs to be a part of our lifestyle. You going to the gym to lose weight, that needs to be a part of your everyday reality. You receiving $1 million, that needs to be a part of your reality. You going back to school, that needs to be a part of your reality. This is real. If you need to, pinch yourself. We don't need to be delusional. So during this time, once again, in the 30-day consistency challenge, these videos in the playlist are 17 minutes to 30 minutes, but because I'm giving you guys the gems for free, you need to know when and where and what and why you're doing certain things. Like, you have to be strategic. It's not a coincidence that people receive certain things in their life. Rather, it was handed to them in life or they work for it. And I'm gonna tell you guys all the time, speaking from experience, you either have to work for things in life or they're going to be handed to you. So if you're not willing to work for it and it's not gonna be handed to you, being delusional is not going to help you. Comparing yourself is not going to help you. Worrying about other people is not going to help you. Being envious of other people is not going to help you. You have to learn how to help yourself. If you don't have the finances, if you don't have the resources, this goes back with step one, taking the time to realize, okay, if I, let's just say, want to go back to school and I don't have the finances to go to school right now, What can I do to apply to certain programs to see if I can get certain loans, to see if I can get certain scholarships, to see if I can get certain grants? Who can I contact? Who can I network? Who and what can I look up on YouTube? Because that's what you're on right now. When can I go to the library? Like, you have to be able to realize that there's so much that goes within what we're asking for. And when you get the information, when you make the time, when you realize what you really want, being practical about your schedule. So if you know you work a 9 to 5, but you want to go back to school, you have to then take the time within, like I said, that 1 month to 6 months to figure out, okay, in order for me to accomplish these goals, I have to make sure that I have time management. I have to become punctual. I have to be realistic and practical, not delusional about the schedule. So if you know you work Monday through Friday, what days could you go to school? How long could you go to school? You don't have to compare your journey. Some people go to school for 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, 1 day. That's them. If you work Monday through Friday, or if you, let's just say your schedule is based off of Monday through Friday, but you have Tuesday and Thursday off. On Tuesday and Thursday, what time are you going to be able to take classes? Because you have to learn how to balance things. We don't need to be stressed out and overwhelmed. Now, of course, if you're a really heavy hitter, you're going to do what you got to do. Everyone's not like that. So, like I said, take it how it resonates. But if you know that you could go to work and you can go to school and still have time for yourself, do your big one. But you don't need to be stressed out about how much time and how much energy you're pouring into yourself when you're doing the things that you need to do. Like I said, if you're doing it alone. Now, if you have the help, you have the resources, do not take those people for granted. If you have somebody that you can get in contact with, you need to make sure that you put out good energy, you treat them well, you do what you're supposed to do, and get what you need to do and do what you need to do. The third thing, when you have time to yourself, you need to rest. Because a lot of times people try to work. And this goes back with the delusional content in the comment that I made. You need to rest. You're not lazy. And I'm telling you guys from experience, as somebody who is very financially stable and well off, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if anything, not just materialistically and monetarily, resting is necessary. There are people who make transactions. For those of you who do like wealth and abundance, and speaking from experience, we rest. We don't work hard. This doesn't mean that you don't have to work in general, but there are a lot of people who are used to an old timeline and the old belief and the old programming. If that's you, that's your thing. But over here, I'm not forcing that. I don't condone it, and I don't inform that to people, because you don't have to work very hard in life. You do have to put in work, but that doesn't mean that you have to stress yourself out, because working 60, 70, a trillion hours, you're going to burn yourself out. And a lot of times people do work that hard. And as we see in the world, it's not like I'm just making this information up. This is statistics and logics, and just based off of how society is right now. You're working hard. At the end of the day, you're not going to be able to take none of this stuff with you. And somebody who runs a business that a lot of people don't want to give you guys the tea, businesses make a lot of money and they don't care. Now, some of them do, some of them don't, but you have a lot of people of authority who are greedy and who practice gluttony, and if you were to pass away, or if you were to quit, they will replace you. But I'm not going to go into finances and the world and politics. I'm just going to keep it cute. So just keep that in mind. You need to be able to rest, because you have to be able to sustain what it is that you want. So therefore, when you don't feel like doing what you have to do, like studying and going to work and going out to the gym, you don't burn yourself up. You don't quit, because that's what happens. A lot of people have so much energy. A lot of people are headstrong, and it's like you have to learn how to pace yourself. Like I said, unless you can keep up that energy the entire time, unless you're really built, because like it takes a strong individual, and strong is not just always physical. Unless you're cut like that, trying to do a trillion tasks in a day, you're not going to make it at the end. And if you do, you're going to buckle, you're going to fold, and that's what you don't want. It doesn't make sense to work so hard that when you get to where you need to be, you can't even maintain it. You can't maintain it because you were in a rush. The fourth or fifth thing, let me know where I'm at with the number. It's just, and I think I'm gonna wrap up the video because I don't want to make it too long. It's just knowing that you can only do so much. So I talked about not comparing yourself. You cannot compare yourself to people in a negative way. If you're going to look at people, it should be for inspiration. You seeing people do the things that you want to do is all the confirmation that you need. So it's nothing wrong with admiration, but do not compare yourself. Do not be envious, because you don't know what these people did to get to where they are, and you're not them, and you could never be them. That's just the truth. You should never want to be anybody else. You could be inspired, like you may like certain things about people, make it into your own thing. But not just that, when you're focusing and you're taking your time and you realize what's in your control and you realize what your path is like, what your hand is dealt with, you're not even going to be consumed about how long it takes and who's saying and doing what. Also, when you're in this season of discomfort, when you're taking the time to rest because you're not lazy, you have to realize you have to be willing to let go. And that's going to be the final thing. You have to be willing to let go of people, places, things, mindsets, morals, beliefs that are not contributing into what it is that you want to experience. Because if not, it's just going to hold you back and cause you to feel stuck and stagnant. So I'm going to end up the video with that. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for turning on your post notifications and giving this video a big thumbs up, as well as commenting down in the comment section and letting me know what about this video stood out to you the most, what you need to work on, or any questions, comments, and concerns about this video, or any just questions in general. Make sure you guys are following me on my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter. All my social medias will be down in the description box below. If you are interested in the service in a session, head to my website at TyGuidance.summer.com. If you're not able to afford a session, which is understandable, I make these videos. Like I said, watch these videos, get your pen and your paper, and take the notes. Apply the information. Okay, this is free therapy. This is free therapy, okay? Know that when you decide to do something, it requires a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and most importantly, you need to be intentional. You need to be intentional. We need to learn how to be practical, because once again, it's possible. Losing weight is possible. Healing yourself is possible. Getting yourself out of poverty is possible. Going into school is possible. Being the first person to be a graduate in your family, breaking generational curses, is possible. Now, how much time, how much energy, how much effort, that's going to be a different topic for a different video, okay? Thanks for watching. Peace.